Welcome to the Burn Live Show, breaking news edition. Um, Normally today we will be going live about AI and technology, but we do have to talk about some unfortunate news that is broken out. The Carmelo Anthony case is over with. They have been found guilty of charges. There's been a outroar in the black community all over social media, and I'm here talking about it with Johnny. Hopefully, I get some more people to slide through, come through, and we can talk about it more deeply. It's a sad day for people who is not going to take the time out to want to understand the truth and justify the case for what the case presented. There are a lot of people out here that have their own little narratives and they want their narratives justified. And that's what I've been hearing a lot on TikTok. It's like if you're talking about Carmelo Anthony on TikTok, you're getting 300 to 400 views. Everybody want to talk about it. So I was like, hey, I understand that I'm a politic. I want to talk about things that are trending, especially important. And unfortunately, this is one. Okay. But to get deeper, I do have Nate the lawyer up here that's gonna be breaking things down, simplifying things as much as possible for us so you can get an understanding of guiltiness, why he's guilty, and then you get it from a lawyer's point of view, not somebody that seemed like I don't know how people feel about court TV when they feel, but yet again, this is just somebody who used to be a lawyer, who I feel like most of his content aren't trying to put you on a side. It's trying to give you the best possible evidence and go from there. And I think that's exactly what I'm gonna try my best to do today. Of going over this course over and over. Johnny, I would like you to put your 2 cents in when you feel it's necessary. And y'all, I'm gonna let Nate kind of break down what's been going on so far.
Mic check 1, 2. All right, we are live. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the late. Yeah, I'm like 4 minutes late. Sorry. Somebody put 99 years. He wanted to kill someone else. Oh my God. Well, obviously, Carmelo Anthony is guilty. Like I predicted, I said he wasn't justified in his use of force. I said it was ridiculous for people to even argue that this was some type of self-defense case. And I'm telling you, I got a lot of flack. I'm always, people always call me, Nate, you're supposed to defend the black people even when they're wrong, or I'm supposed to defend the white people even if they're wrong. It's like insane old stuff. But first thing I'm going to say is there are two people who lost their lives, right? The kid who died, Austin Metcalf, he didn't deserve that at all. And shame on Carmelo Anthony for what he did. He needed to be held accountable. And Carmelo Anthony, essentially, he lost his life. He's going to be doing decades in prison if justice prevails. He's been convicted of first-degree murder. They are now doing sentencing. So in Texas, the way it works is if you're the defendant, you get to pick if it's going to be the defendant who is going to go to, I'm sorry, you get to pick if the judge is going to sentence you or the jury is going to sentence you. And Carmelo Anthony and his parents, they picked the jury. So now the jury gets to go back and figure out if this is going to be self-defense. Now, I will say this: I think there are some appealable issues you can argue here, but will it be? Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. And I'll talk about that in a second. So, just so everybody understands, what I'm going to say now is going to upset some people and it's going to make some people happy. And I'm going to say, so for each one of these racially charged cases, I get flack from both sides. And I've been right. Like 99% of the time, I'm right. For instance, I'll go over some cases. Jacob Blake. When it first came out, the people were saying it's race, the cops shot him. I said the police were justified. And guess what? Lo and behold, the police were justified. Now it's called a coon, buffoon, all that stuff. Police were justified. Ashley Babbitt. I said Ashley Babbitt shooting was totally justified. Oh, Nate, you just hate white people in MAGA. Her case was totally justified. George Floyd, I said that the cop who shot to murder George Floyd was going to jail. I said, it's obvious that happened. And then on the other side, Kyle Rittenhouse, when Kyle Rittenhouse happened, I was one of the first people to come and say, it's obvious self-defense. He's not going to jail. He shouldn't even be tried. And guess what? I was attacked for being anti-BLM. I hate
Kyle Rittenhouse was definitely a case that a lot of people forget, that a kid self-defended himself 3 different times and came up under the chance of losing his life, and he became not guilty in court because of evidence that was there showing during the attacks. That's amazing. This right here, this case right here, this Karmelo Anthony's case, only has, from my understanding, one major camera view. Okay, where
actually did jump him.
So you heard that.
One major camera view that was off the what's called. Now, what was strange, and we talked about this last night, I brought this up for Doc because Doc didn't know, is where Nate is going to get into you for people who testified in the courtroom who lied about what they seen. Okay, and when I do mean lied about what they seen, I'm almost tired of going over this guy. But
So,
this is important.
can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Do you think that the people that were lying about what they seen, do you think they made the case worse for the individual that was being prosecuted, or do you think it hurted the situation?
If you lie for clout, you hurt the situation. If you lie because you truly perceive something a way, then no, you know what I'm saying? You really perceive something a certain type of way, and that's how you truly felt. You know what I'm saying? In this case right here, that's gonna pop up that Nate's gonna talk about, is a guy who was at the courtroom, right? And he put out, this happened a couple of days ago, he put out the fact that Karmelo was jumped, and it was eyewitnesses that seen the video. And this guy was one of the true eyewitnesses that seen the video. And when it comes to find out, when you did research on the guy turned out to be a pedophile and just went over 200 miles to pick up a little boy from school, touch on him, and then dropped him off the next day. Like, stuff like that is discreditable when you get into stuff like this.
These cases, I don't sit here and try to tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what the facts are. Here are the facts in front of me, and this is what I'm going to believe that happens.
And that's why I listen to Nate, because Nate doesn't. I don't want to hear about your opinion. I just want to hear the facts, and then you judge off the facts.
Now, I know there are people out there who are going to disagree with each one of my predictions, each one of those predictions, but you can't say they didn't come true, and you can't say I didn't make them, even in this case. Now, there's been a lot of lies about this particular case. I don't know why it's been so crazy, but I'm going to play you some of the lies that have been told about this case. And it's so insane because I understand why people are upset, no matter which side you're on. I understand why people are upset, but you've been lied to. You've been lied to about Karmelo Anthony, and you've been lied to about Aaron Metcalf. They've lied about both of them. Now, we're going to play some of the lies. We're going to play some of the lies because I think it's important for you guys to hear the lies for yourself. Here it is.
From the direction of the middle school,
Right.
coming walking back up.
Right.
On the video, you can see those 4 that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract him a little bit, and then the other 4
Two of the kids went to the coach to distract so they can jump Carmelo Anthony. This is what this guy is going to break down and tell you how and why it happened. Like he seen it with his own two eyes. Do this hurt the black community? Yes. Yes, sir. This hurts. Cause why the hell is you doing this? And then when you go look at this man right here who's telling you his background, he likes touching on little boys. So, Johnny, if you can hear me, sir,
Yes, I can.
do you think his credibility stands, or he gets discredit because his background is not clean?
I think he gets discredit.
Came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other four went and they surrounded Carmelo. You know, if you're Carmelo,
And they showed it on that video.
it's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see them walk.
I'm gonna
up.
say little
And
stuff.
I'll put
while
it
you
this
talking.
way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video.
Now I want to. The video's too loud. I'll turn it down. I'm going to tell you, what he's saying is an absolute lie. It's an absolute lie. I want to make sure I stop at the point. What this man is saying is an absolute lie. Carmelo wasn't surrounded. None of what he's saying is true. But he's saying it to make black people out there think that Carmelo Anthony is innocent. And just let's. Yes, he was found guilty. Of course, he was found guilty. Yes, Carmelo Anthony was found guilty of murder, just like I predicted. People need to understand this. If someone goes out there and says, "Well, didn't he touch him?" You can't just murder somebody for touching you. That's ridiculous. And people are making that argument.
Johnny,
Yeah.
this is the argument I heard all morning on TikTok. That's what I heard all last night on TikTok. I drove my girl crazy because that's all I did was just sit there and listen. She's like, that's all you doing is listen. Now she heard me get a little rah this morning because I actually got on a panel with, I thought, some civilized people who would just want to hear another point of view and not hear somebody that's so caught up in the hype. I'm like, I'm not even caught up in this. There's plenty of the stories that I can cover that I really don't have to cover this, but to cover this, to go over it, to explain to y'all, what I'm saying, from a point of view of I'm putting my feelings to the side and I want to make the best logical, rational decision because you got somebody else's life in your hands. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that is very needing of society. Somebody is not gonna rush and like, oh, I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna just do what is right. I'm gonna hear everything out fully and full content. 21 witnesses, over 21 witnesses hit the stand. Nobody alerted to what that guy said. We gotta stop. I don't know, bro. We gotta stop that race thing, bro. It's getting harder. It's getting harder. It's getting harder. And boy, people like they don't care. I'm I'm strolling on TikTok right now, and that's the main thing everybody's talking about.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I understand why they are doing what they're doing. That doesn't necessarily mean that is right. You know, I don't think they should protect an individual, whoever it is, that's not innocent. But, I just see it as a black community um, riding till the wheels fall off because of America's
Yeah,
un
but when a young
unjust
but when a young scholar does it to his own granny, where's the uproar?
when a young scholar does it to his own granny.
Yeah, where's the
How is
uproar?
how is that? I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know what I'm trying to paint that picture. Why do you say that? Why'd you
Because
use
it's
that
happening.
analogy?
When young scholars are stealing and robbing from their own communities, their mothers, their grannies, stealing their hard-earned savings because they ain't got it. They got to get it out of the mud. Where's the uproar?
I mean, that's the thing as far as like trying to protect the community as well. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that's their motive behind it. Why? Because, you know, they feel like they're the only ones that care about them, you know? So they go on drastic measures.
Do a drastic measures, bro. We're letting kids think that it's okay. Cause remember we had this conversation a long time ago about military age young men and women. And when they first get out here into the real world, what are some of the incentives should they go for? And remember how you said you think they should go for the EBT. I was like, no, that should be one of the last things a young military aged men should be wanting to do or think about.
I mean, if they're going to college and things of that nature, yeah, you know, you can get food stamps in college, you know, or if you're trying to work or whatever, you know, go there for their workforce development program. They got good programs for you. You know, it's not all bad. Not a bad thing to go toward. You know, towards that direction and get started. You know, they can help you get housing. They can help you get a job. They can help you, you know, get pay for you to get your driver's license or
Why you
whatever.
can't do none of that stuff yourself?
Because a lot of people don't have that family structure to be able to do that.
Why you need family structure to go get a job?
Why can't? Well, what's wrong with going to the government to get that help?
Because we don't like the government and the government shows that they not out here to help us.
I mean, that help is clear as day.
So yet again, you said to go get something simple as a driver's license, and you talking about going to get assistance from the government when you can just go get it yourself. Go cut some grass, or go rake some leaves, or go babysit, or go make some lemonade, or you know what I'm saying, sell a couple bottles of water or something. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of little things that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Volunteer work to help do things to show the initiative. You know, before I had my first job, I did volunteer work after school at a YMCA program, not a government assistant program. After school latchkey. I did it myself. I took the time out of my boring non-life schedule and stayed with kids and taught them sports. Because that was my favorite thing to do.
Where were you living?
I was living in Southside St. Louis in a black neighborhood
With who? By yourself or
by myself.
yeah? Were you living by yourself or
No, my parents was living with relatives because they couldn't
right?
afford their own place.
Right. So like, if some people aren't fortunate to have those types of living situations, so some parents kick their kids out as soon as they graduate from high school, and they say, hey, now's the time to get out. So it's like depending on the situation that you're in, there's many different avenues, and you know,
Why
going to
we so
welfare
quick
is
to
one of them.
But why are we so quick to open up welfare's door when welfare has been shown to have negative? outcome
Not necessarily. I mean,
necessarily statistically shown.
nah. I mean, some people do abuse it, but if you use it for the right reasons, then it's good. It's good
What's
to
the
get
right
that
reason?
assistance to go there to get started in life. If you need a job and you need some money in the meantime of you finding a job, go there. They'll give you some money to help pay for your rent as long as you're looking for a job. Do that.
As long as you're
They'll-
looking for a job.
yeah, get you some food stamps so you could pay for food, while you're not working and looking for a job, or you may be in training. All that stuff can be a good assistance.
It could be, but
Yeah,
it's not,
and it is a good
and it
assistance.
hasn't been because yet again, in our community, we are the highest obesity community in America. We have more people in our community that goes to the hospital for unhealthy related incidents. So being on what you want to call these so-called benefits, government benefits, are proving to be unhealthy for our community. That's
No,
why
that's
I keep
not true.
saying that,
That's,
sir,
that's
it
not
is,
that's not the reason as to
sir,
why people overeat is because they're on welfare. That's false.
sir. More people that are on these government systems are the most of people that are depressed, that overeat, that are heavy weighted. Yes, that is true.
And just because they're heavy weighted and depressed, that doesn't mean that it's because that they're on food stamps. That's not the reason. That's not the cause. The cause is because of whatever they may be going through in life, and they may not be finding the help to get through it. So they probably are using food as an escape. Again, that's not saying that
That
the
is saying
welfare
that.
system is
Yes,
causing
that
it because
is.
it's
You just
definitely
don't
not.
want to admit it.
That's
You,
not
it's
true, bro. That's not even that's not true.
true.
That's far from true.
How? When you just admit you're saying it over and over. Obesity is mainly where? In the food stamp EBT community.
And just because it is, that doesn't mean that the food stamps is causing it. You just said it yourself. They are going through depression. So depression may be causing it. So what do they need? They need therapy. They need assistance in that area.
So why don't they go get therapy? You know what they go get? Food stamps, Medicaid. Instead of trying to find solutions to work through our problems
It's
or
not
whatever
true.
it is.
Not true. That's
Then
inhumane.
why we're not healthy then? Why we're not
That's
a health why we're not
that's
healthy, sir? You
why
may say
aren't
may not,
why aren't we
inhumane.
healthy?
Yes, why we're not nowhere near a healthy community.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at what America has done for the black culture. It hasn't done nothing for it.
And see, then you sit up here and then you lie and you tell stories like that.
I mean, what reparations have they had? None. What turning
Okay.
point in history
What
have
turning
has
point?
they had?
1776.
What, three-fourths?
Okay. The constitutional right that you were able to vote, getting rid of Jim Crow laws.
Well, you're talking about three-fourths.
I'm talking about it all. Every small step in man that
Then
has
then you're talking about during that same era, they having to learn something. They have to learn whatever they have to take a test in order for them to vote, knowing that they just getting out of slavery and they can't pass the test. So knowing that they're probably not going to be able to vote. You talking about those hurdles? Come on, man. That's no. Like, that's no. It's
No,
sad to say. It's sad to say that the black community needs some time to heal,
it's sad to say
but
that
they need it.
healing is over. You had
Huh?
plenty of time to heal.
No, they didn't.
Uh,
No, they didn't.
the
They
problem
didn't
is
even. They how that's you. Okay, you so time to heal. They haven't had time to heal. What? They haven't even gotten the medicine to heal. So how they even gonna heal? They just sitting there dying. They left for dead.
we've been legal for how long?
Yeah, left for dead. They haven't gotten anything
We have been
to help
legal
repair
in
the wounds.
America for how long? So black people have not been getting their medicine.
No, they
Hennessy's been on
haven't.
Hennessy's been on every liquor store corner. Their favorite drink has been on every corner
That's not
store.
medicine. That ain't
What?
medicine. That's not medicine.
That's
If
it,
that's
it,
medicine to you, that's crazy.
I think that's medicine to the community that
No, it's
finds this
not.
medicine. And I look at what trends in the black community.
That's not medicine, bro.
Well, then you need to go look up what's trending in the black community and what they consider medicine, and then you come back and you alert me. Because excuse me if I'm wrong, but that's what they glorify in the black community.
No, that's what you're watching that they're magnifying for you to see that's in the black community. But that's not medicine. And they even know it themselves if you have a conversation with them.
So why glorify it?
Why glorify what?
Here to see it, we like it cures everything.
Ask the people that's at the top. They're the ones that's in control of the media. They're the ones
No,
that's
they're
putting it
not
in
in
your
control of
eyes.
the media. They're not in control what a black person picks up their phone and put into creation. They're not. They're not. They don't tell the black people, hey, make that trending. No, they do not. Black people come up with their own trend and do whatever the hell they want. Like we came up with rock and roll, rap, and everything else. So quit being delusional and saying that we don't do something when we do something, but when we do something that you don't like or it has a negative eye, then oh, that's not us. That makes no sense.
Because just you're acting like all black people drink Hennessy. That's what you're insinuating right now.
Where if I was insinuating that, I'd be like, "Me, you drink Hennessy." I know I don't drink Hennessy.
I don't drink at all.
I don't drink at all either.
So not all black people drink Hennessy.
But yet again, it's glorified in our community.
Yeah, and it's not a good thing.
I rest my case of what I've said about the whole government system and format for the black community, how it is unhealthy for us, period.
You know what black people need? An apology. They need
You
the
know what the
president to
black
get on
folks
that
need?
podium. Let the president get on the podium and say, hey, listen, we understand that the blacks have gone through slavery and they built America, not built America, but have played a large factor in the
Right.
foundation of the American roots. And we apologize to you guys. And we want to come up with a day for you guys to honor y'all and da 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 da. That would be cool. You know what I'm saying? But no,
No, they
they ain't
would
getting none of
not.
that.
That would
We
make
got we
that,
got America. What we got is
sir, that would
when
make no sense
slavery
to a lot of black people for
when
simple fact. Have
it will
you
be a start. That will be a start for most. That'll be a start for all, but for some that'll be more than enough.
sir,
Instead, America, when they
you
go to
will you
when
will
they talk about how slavery is supposed to be the most gruesome act in history, America votes no. It's not.
because it's not the most gruesome thing that happened in America. There's other things that happen in America that's even gruesome. Nigga, a whole continent damn near got blown up. A whole country almost got decimated in one bomb.
Again,
What?
you're talking about one bomb. We're talking about years of mistreatment of a racial group.
We talking about years of a racial group who
Generations. How would you feel if you
hold on,
saw
let me
your
finish.
wife get
But
raped
sir, you
or
never
your
want to go back
daughter?
to the people that sold you, though. Why
How
you
would you?
we're
Huh?
not asking reparations to Africa. Let's go back to Africa and ask them for reparations for selling us.
They wouldn't have nobody to sell to.
Bruh, stop playing. They would have sold us to the fucking China if they could have.
Then they would have been labeled as that. But at
But
the end
yet,
of the day, we can't
no,
talk
no, no.
about
Why
like
you want to get
slavery as a whole.
as a whole, but you don't want to blame the people that sold you into slavery?
I mean, they were wrong as well for having slavery, yes.
You
But
don't.
for but as
For,
far as we can date back in
you can
history,
date, sir. That's
right
great.
now,
You can date that back. You can date that back.
that's
You
like
can go
saying,
in history and look at history and say, "Damn," in the 1800s, or no, in the 1600s, in Africa, on the motherfucking coast, they got a wall full of people documented getting sold to the European colonies in Africa.
so let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Can you or anybody else in America that's black, can they date where they ancestors came from? A lot of them can say no.
A lot of them should be able to say yes with today's technology in society. Yes.
You can't put a name to it. That's what I'm
You-
trying to say. You may be
Well,
able to find where your DNA lies, but as far as putting a name to it, come on, man. Let's be
if
real.
you can travel all the way back to the country, and if you can go to Africa and say that these people were, I was part of their tribe, and find out that that tribe was once sold in the 1700s, that's bloodline. That's a
Right.
trace. That's a
So how much
trail.
money does that cost to do?
However much it costs to start off on ancestry.com.
Nah, it don't start with okay, it may start with ancestry, but now you're talking about taking a plane, having to go talk to these people. Bro, you're I mean, just for me to trace my history back, I gotta spend probably well over $5,000.
Okay, hold on. Since you don't know and I don't know, obviously.
We talk about trips to Africa, having to stay there. We gotta get food. Come on, man.
I ain't gotta do all see, no, no, no.
No, you don't. But we talking about a situation right now.
Because all I gotta do is go there, go see the place, look at the document. It's only gonna take you a day. Get out of here.
That ain't gonna take you no day.
It's gonna take you a day. It's gonna take
Okay.
you to 20 some hours to get out there to Africa, 22 hours to get to African, and then a day to go to whatever um coast it is to look at this monumental, because it's monumental. You know what I'm saying? This is a place to visit. It's not something that's, oh, we gotta go deep inside the jungle. It's
Do you
not
know how
no.
Ancestry.com works?
You put your DA in, they do something, they send the results back. Case closed.
Yeah, there's no names to the people that your descendants from. They don't have all that on there.
What do they have on there?
Like what they have is like usually they could only I've only witnessed them date back to early if early eight I mean late 1800s, early 1900s. That's the farthest I've seen them date back.
1800s.
Late. Early 1900s, really.
Okay.
But that depends on how well some people know their family roots. That's another thing that play a factor in it.
How does people family know their roots?
How
Um,
well people know their family roots, like how
well,
close
we
and
know
knit their family has
factually
been.
that majority of your ancestors was raped and stuff and humiliated and you know what I'm saying, passed down and sliced gene. So all of us are sliced with some type of mutated gene force, right? Meaning, in layman's terms, we're all mixed. If you're any part of slavery, you're mixed probably with your slave master. He probably was dibbling in his little slave pool. Sounds disgusting, I get it. But yet again, that would make more logical sense, wouldn't it? Logical sense.
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
I think you have a lot of logical sense. I think
I
you
think
do. But
I mean
and
I just
you just lacking just a little bit of empathy.
empathy is just the fact that
Not sympathy. I said empathy.
we want to cry and boo hoo for what? For what? When we living in one of the greatest countries in the world, you can't name another country that a person truly, really wants to go to. And be like, yeah, I don't really want to go over there and do that. No, you cannot. You want to know why? Because they're not making them like they make them over here in America and give you the opportunities they give the opportunists a chance to do what they need to do. Come on. A long time ago, and I'm being sarcastic when I say this, but a long time ago, the number one thing to do in America was say, fuck the police. It was once upon a time the most coolest thing to do was to say in America, Black Power. One of the number one shows in America that was going on was In Living Color. Another popular show that was very popular that people wanted to go on was the Apollo. A long time, like there's so many beautiful things that happen in America that Black people have created and been a part of and still generationally can hold on to if we would just play our cards a lot smarter, but we seem to lack that. And now that we finally are getting into politics, finally getting back into politics, we are misled and misguided by race hustler people in America. We have to stop that because it's distracting us from helping us heal each other. And when people say, oh, Capiche, scorn because of the black community and how they treated you. No, I'm not scorned from nothing. I just realize reality and what it truly is and the change. And I'm not going to ignore it and just say, oh, it was just tough love. Knowing that most of my neighborhood friends were criminals, up to no good, bad people. Okay, compared to my school friends. I know, Johnny, you grew up in like, dang, you had to understand the difference between your street friends and your school friends. Today is no different. You still got your friends in school that you want to graduate with, and then you still got the ones that have. It seems like you never went to school a day in your life. And I sit up here on panels and stuff like this, and I was just on a panel just strolling. And dude was like, "Why is there silent letters in words?" And I was like, "Damn!" And what was amazing to me was the person that spoke it. I know for a fact goes to school. Is in school as he was speaking. Well, he probably out of school now because it was the summertime. But you know what I'm saying? He's in school. And then the first thing somebody's gonna say, well, I wasn't taught that. What? I was taught that in school. Shit, hell, I might not learn it then, but I learned it now to where even if I don't use it on an everyday basis, I understand the reasoning of why we use it. We wanted to be different. A guy a long time ago decided that, hey, America should have its own language and its own sense of the way of speaking. That it divided us away from other countries so we can be America, not emulating other states. That's why our language the way it is. That's the way we got syllables and we pronounce things just so irrational. And yet again, we brought black people here to America because hell, we didn't like what was going on over there in the South. And when I keep saying this over and over, it's just like we're not understanding that when slavery was happening, slavery wasn't happening during the government. Okay. It was people in the South, plantations. That's why people always say about plantations. No, they don't say government plantations. They never say government ran buildings had slavery.
So the Constitution had was that before or after slavery?
If I'm not mistaken, the Constitution was during slavery.
Right. Does it have anything about what is how slaves should be treated in the Constitution?
No,
You don't got nothing about a slave.
no.
Okay.
The Constitution is more biblically written than a lot of legislation that we actually put into Americans' form. The Speaker of the House representative just was speaking through the Constitution and using Bible quotes because our forefathers used Christian value. And I was arguing with this young lady in school who wants to argue that America doesn't need Christian value. And I was like, American was standard and forefounded on Christian values. And yes, we were open to other countries and their beliefs and not pondering and not pushing their beliefs against them. No, we are not, but pushing a Christian beliefs upon American soil was definitely in the forefront and in the dirt pattern of building this country. That's why a lot of people that are conservative hold a Christian value. And people will say Christian nationalist value. Well, I'm against that because I don't believe in just white power here in America. I believe in Christian power, Christian values here in America.
Yeah, that's being a Christian nationalist.
That's not
I,
being a Christian nationalist, sir.
that is a Christian nationalist. Yeah.
Johnny, that's not being a Christian nationalist because without that, Christians wouldn't even have nothing here in America at all. They'd be ran out.
Who cares? I wouldn't care. I would not care. Not one bit as a Christian.
It wouldn't even be a chance for Christians to even learn about being a Christianity in America.
That's not true because if we were still in Africa, it would have spread somehow. I mean, it already
Yeah,
was.
you're right. You right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're 100% right on that one. And that, you know what I'm saying? Hear me correct myself that I was wrong. You are correct. It would have somehow got to us. Somehow, some way, some shape or form. You're right. But in this black community, man, we got we
Yeah, we gotta get back right. But I think
we
I think for us it's a matter of the method. I think that's where me and you differ in is as far as like the method on how the black community has to get back right.
I definitely don't think it's through the government. And
You don't
hear me,
think?
I
Well, tell me
don't
why. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think it's through the if me and you can sit here and agree that we believe that the government's corrupt, if you can agree to that and I can agree, can we?
Yeah, I think
I
I
believe the
believe parts
government's
of it
corrupt.
is yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So if we can agree to that, that's not gonna be a good stepping stone to step on, concretable to move forward because that's a weak bearer. It's like a news reporter that lost his credibility. It's like my guy that I was just showing you earlier that lost his credibility because his background is not, you know what I'm saying, of par. We gotta start picking out real leaders, people who has the backbone, the muscle to lead and don't have a criminal, such a criminal background. And what I mean by criminal background, I'm talking about murder, stealing for countless many times, and then hasn't shown no accountability or change, hasn't did nothing out there in the community, hasn't sat down and spoke, hasn't showed no type of, like you would say, remorse of growing. We have leaders out here that go every day hard in the paint in our communities that do the average Joe things that we don't know nothing about that could step up, that want to step up, but we ain't gonna push them because yet again, the black community when it comes to social media has to have a image, has to have a swag, has to have a a Cardi B, Jay Z, um, image that's impossible to satisfy a community to move forward to be healthy. We gotta understand that that hero that we looking for is gonna come in a suit. He may not speak in the language that all people are gonna understand on social media. He may speak a little boring, you know, back for as speaking like the Martin Luther King days. Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying, when he was young in his prime, he probably spoke to a lot of people that understood. But when you got, you know, he didn't get old, but you know what I'm saying, when he spoke in them big rallies and stuff like that, and the big meetings and stuff like that, a lot of people probably didn't comprehend what he was talking about. Just like, for instance, Trump, his first term. A lot of people thought that he was speaking to the people, and he wasn't speaking to the people. He was speaking to government. They called them out on their bullshit. America wasn't ready for that. They didn't know how that looked. They never seen a guy in modern day society call the government out on its bullshit. It was strange. We were used to the Bill Clinton way, the Barack Obama way, where I'm come up here and I'm give you this granddaddy speech, and you know what I'm saying. Through the speech, I'm gonna hit with resonating points because I'm gonna go down, stoop down to grocery prices need to be rise. Crime is wrong, but yet again, I'm gonna speak in a more versatile and equity way where people don't understand economics because they don't understand economical talk. You see what I'm saying? When you able to weave into stuff like that, you lose a lot of people in the black community. When you have a person like right now who I keep yelling out Stephen A. Smith, who's going to be able to resonate more to the local mainstream media on debate stages so you can get an understanding of what's been passed, why it's been passed, why I think he's corrupted, why you shouldn't vote for this person, and boom, get a ground understanding what's going on. You don't have to go to Google. You don't have to go to Gemini. You don't have to go to Grok. You don't have to go to AI and search up nothing because you have a candidate that's going to resonate to you. That's what I be talking about. It's a step forward that looks more presentable than going to the government who's going to throw I-957 bill at you and you like, hell, go vote on that. And you're going to be like, what the fuck is that? I don't get it. Why you just can't tell me what the bill is? Nah, I'm gonna make it complicated. You know what I'm saying? Black people don't read. That's why I don't want the government involved. That's why when I feel like we was talking about resonating with the black community and actually going in here and doing something, actually going out here and let's go pick somebody. I got a Miss Jones. I remember used to be my elementary school teacher. I remember her vividly, but she put fear in them school teachers and the students. Sit down, you're gonna learn. When you leave my room, it's not about being a smartass, not being a class clown. It's about learning something and furthering your education. My girl said I need to start putting videos together. I'm really finna start getting creative and putting these statistic numbers of what is really truly out here and why I stand on what I stand on. I see what I'm gonna have to do. I do. I didn't know how I want to be this other side of this content creating, but yeah, I just think I need to just drop these numbers. Like, yo, when you see the numbers, you know what I'm saying, in a 10-minute video of showing you different eras. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and today, and show y'all the difference. I don't break things down. I'm just gonna go to work. I'm just gonna go to work. Are we really this poor? Are we really this bad? Are we really this obese? Are we really this so-called depressed in America? Um, oh yeah, I'm finna hit on some very um harmful. What's it called it? Is KKK still around? Are we still racially profiling? You know what I'm saying? Is there enough body cams out here to show difference. It's a lot of numbers to go over in this black community that'll shock you, Johnny. They be like, damn, the piece was trying to tell me the world ain't like how it is.
Yeah, me personally, I'm not necessarily moved by the numbers. I'm moved by the motive. The reason as to what is going on behind the scenes for people. And that's just for everything.
You gotta understand the race hustle behind it is what's thriving and what's driving me crazy.
I know that for you.
Like, stop. And the only way we're gonna stop is people like me, people like Nate the lawyer, all these conservative black people that put out content just calling out the bush. Look, Dr. Umar. When the last time you heard about Dr. Umar?
Well,
Johnny.
brother just said he got to school and now he waiting for, you know,
Sir.
permits and stuff like that.
Yeah. You don't hear about him. That dude is getting irrelevant. He's a washed up has-been. You know why? Because it's hard to look for racism when racism don't happen like you think it. Like, stop. You want to fight big corporations? Okay, let's go fight big corporations. You want to overtax big corporations? You might want to think about that because big corporations, all they do is leave when they're unsatisfied. And then when you don't, they can't tax them. When you can't tax the rich, you have to tax the middle class and you have to tax the poor. So all this, let's tax the rich, is a hustle ran by the Democratic Party. I want to expose that too. I'm just tired. The Republican Party, unfortunately, they don't do that. Oh, black people, it's that time again. We got you. And then turn your backs on it. They don't do that. The Republican Party don't even cater to the black people when it comes to elections. Why? Because you shouldn't have to. I should have to cater to the people. The people of the United States of America. They're the people that you should have to cater to and get on their side to get on your side to get your vote. This Carmelo Anthony case, dude is so guilty. Sorry. Life happens. But hey, we got to make better decisions and better choices. And we all have to do that. And with that, I'm going to say, this is breaking news. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Anytime you're watching this. Johnny, we made it through.
We made it through.
We out. Peace.
Peace.
This motherfucker is locked.
Talking, I'm in love, baby.